If you tell me I can't do something, good luck.
Emmy Award-Winning journalist, mom, wife, breast cancer survivor, and total grown-ass woman, Johanna Gomez.
Let's face it, we live in year-round hot weather. Welcome to the Business Traveler Show. I'm your host, Johanna Gomez. I did not know what I wanted to do. And I tell my 15-year-old now, you're not supposed to know. Whoever said you have to know, maybe that works for some people. That doesn't work for everyone. Joy Grogan, who was in charge of the Dolphins cheerleaders, she asked me to do something on camera. And it just was so easy. That's where it started. I was like, I really like this. Television is just weird. It's hard. It takes so many years for people to just trust you. In my home, you go to school, you become an attorney, you become a doctor. Like, you don't become a television host.
They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. This is a determination story.
When you see images and videos of people like the water is starting to rise, that's what it felt like. Everyone can relate to that moment where you're like, I need something fresh, I need something new. And then unfortunately in 2017, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Tell me about the moment that you found out. What do I love about a grown-ass woman? There's so much to love.
Now give it to me.
She's unapologetic. She shows up in every space exactly who she is. She wedges the door open for other women to follow. I'm Shannon Allen, and you're listening to Grown Woman. I'm so excited to be joined today at the Grown Table by my dear friend, Emmy Award-Winning journalist, host of The Business Traveler, all things mom, wife, breast cancer survivor, and total grown-ass woman, Johanna Gomez.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for coming.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Is this your first time at Grown?
Well, this is not my first time at Grown, but this is my first time at the Grown set, I should say.
We have a set, people.
There we go.
No, it is. I feel like Grown is in bloom right now.
It is, and I love it.
Thank
Everything
you.
needs to bloom at one point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always have to remember, like, the day that we plant the seeds is not the day that we harvest the fruit. So it feels really good. And thank you so much for being willing to sit down with me and allowing me to be on the opposite side of the table.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's weird because I'm typically the one always asking questions.
Yeah.
But,
and you ask amazing questions.
Oh, thank you.
And you've asked me some amazing questions over the years. And so thank you so much for always, no matter what we're doing. And I wanted to tell, I know this is so weird, we're breaking the fourth door. I know you don't normally do this, but for everybody that's watching and you're sitting on this table with us, for those of you that don't know, Johanna Gomez is an Emmy Award-Winning journalist. And a bunch of other things. And we're going to get into all of that. Wife, mother, extraordinary human being, and truly, truly former dancer. But really, every time anything has come up with me in my life in the last, call it 13 years since we've lived in Miami, whether it's raising money for type 1 diabetes, or when Walker was the face of the Freestyle Libre, or launching Grown, or our catering business, or any of the things that we've been talking about, getting ready to launch our Grown franchise, you've always welcomed me in to share my story. And I'm so grateful for that, because you're like one of the originators of amplifying women.
Oh, you know what? That makes me happy to hear. I do feel that I am a supporter of women. But you have such a great story, so why not share it? I feel like if you're a woman and you have a great story, which I think all of us do.
We do.
Let's share it. You know, let's make it work for all of us, because I think that we are all connected somehow, some way. So.
And that was that something that was always a part of your life? I mean, obviously you have an illustrious career. You really are a luminary when it comes to journalism, true journalism. Yeah. Whether it was in the beginning at doing news, or Six in the Mix, or now what you're doing for travel all over the world. Yeah. And you just have something new that it's already launched, but now it's going to take this next level. I don't know if you can actually talk about that. But before we get there, growing up in New York City, from a Dominican family.
Yeah, first generation. I am first generation.
First generation.
Yeah, my mom came to this country from Dominican Republic with my dad. She got married. She had so many hopes and dreams, you know, to live the American dream. With she had my brother and myself, and then she split up from my dad. So I was raised by a very strong woman. So yes, to answer your question, it starts from there. I think that's where my love of helping women and being like a big time rooter, like I love to root for women, and I'm always like, let's help, let's help each other out. It comes from there because it comes from my mom. I've also, within my industry, I've obviously worked with a lot of women, not so kind sometimes because that's the reality of it. But I always like to take the high road and say at the end of the day, I want someone to say like, I help them. I have a lot of young women that call me that want to be on TV and they're like, can you assist me? And I'm like, I was once in your shoes.
Where you are.
So absolutely, I will help you. I will tell you what to do and what not to do because I wish I had someone kind of give me that roadmap. But I think it started from my mom because my mom is so strong.
Was your mom in communications? You said she had the American dream, but what was her American dream? Just wanting a better life, wanting to leave DR?
Just wanting a better life, just wanting to leave DR. No, my mom's not in communication. She worked, regular jobs. She worked at the post office. She worked cleaning. She did a little bit of everything. Worked at a factory just to
whatever she had to
do to put food at the table. And I can tell you one thing: I never missed anything in my childhood. I can't tell you. I went to private school. She did it all.
Your mom was a beast. What a friggin' blessing. And what's your relationship with your mom like now? Do you still have your mom?
I do, thank God. I'm very lucky. Yeah, thank God.
Thank God for moms.
Yeah, thank God for moms. I do. I'm very close. She lives in South Florida. She decided that New York was just a little too rough and she needed to get out and she remarried. So I have a sister as well. Moved to South Florida when I was 14. I was about to start high school, which is now as a mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like a huge transition.
Oh my gosh.
That you do to a child.
Right then, in your adolescence, like that's the time when you really don't know who you are. Yeah. That's when you really need stability. Yeah.
And my mom was like, we're moving. It was very quick too. No time to really think about it and moved to South Florida.
So before you made the jump to South Florida and you were living in New York City pre-14, is that when you fell in love with dance, with TV, with film, with energy? Was the city an inspiration for you? And were you able to tap into the arts as a preteen?
So I danced when I was a young girl. I did tap, jazz, ballet, like everyone. I think a lot of young kids are into dance. I loved the arts. I always knew that I wanted to do something in front of the camera. And I didn't know what. And really, I think and this was just my experience in my home, you go to school, you become an attorney, you become a doctor, like you don't become a television host. Like that was very foreign. So no, it was never TV was never anything that I wanted to do.
And I think that's very common for immigrant families.
Absolutely, because you just have to stick to the script of what works, what they think works.
Right.
Because a lot of things can work. So no, in the beginning it wasn't something.
And when you would verbalize that.
By the way, I wanted to be a model.
Did you?
So I could
okay,
say
listen, that works also.
That was my
that's
dream.
A possibility, yes.
I was like, I want to be a model. And then I was like, okay, I'm not that tall. I'm not
Which is so ridiculous, by the way. But whenever you say that to anyone in the modeling industry, no disrespect to models. We love models, obviously, right? We're super fans of models, for God's sakes. Though people will say, like, let these tall women, these tall, beautiful women have their thing.
It's true.
Short girls, you have stuff. Yeah. So I'm always like, okay, well, that's fair. That is fair. But yes, being a model would have been very cool.
It would have been.
And I think you would have been amazing at it.
Oh, thank you. It would have been cool. So no, I didn't. I actually, my love for TV came very late.
Really?
In my life. I did not know that I wanted to be on television. Actually, I went to college and I was like, maybe I want to be a therapist.
That was FIU?
Yeah. And I was like, I changed my major so many times.
Really? Yeah, so you're not afraid of risk. You're not afraid of pivoting. Being resourceful.
I did not know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I tell my 15-year-old now, you're not supposed to know. Whoever said you have to know maybe that works for some people. That doesn't work for everyone. It's not a one size fits all.
It's not a one size fits all. And I think even if you decide that you really like doing this thing, it doesn't mean you have to do this thing forever.
No, it can change.
We're multi-hyphenate human beings. We're multifaceted. We're not like a monolith. Like it's okay to try things. And it doesn't even have to be like try things and then fail things or try things and then be some uber success. It's like I tried that. That was cool. That was fun. Having a curiosity about your life and in welcoming play, a lot of times I think people don't have the luxury of doing that because we have to make ends meet. It's like I just have to be able to put a roof over my head, I have to be able to pay my bills.
Absolutely.
But when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, if you're blessed and fortunate enough to not have to also work full time while you're going to high school, that's the time I think when you can really start to experiment with, do I like this, do I not like that? And so how did you figure that out at FIU? Like that discovery process?
I tried out to be a Dolphins cheerleader. Really, that's how it started. Talk about taking a risk. I used to dance in high school. It was fun, great. I didn't make my high school dance team the first time I tried out. I tried out the second time, so I made it my junior year, my senior year. And that summer, I was driving in my car and I heard, they're trying out for Miami Dolphins. Like, do you want to try out? I think it was like some point in April. And I was like, I'll try out. My girlfriends at the time were all dancers and we're like, let's all do it.
Let's all do it.
And I was like, I might not make it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's take a risk.
Right, and you did that together, which is amazing.
We did it together. I was the only one that made it.
Of course you were.
They were like, wait, okay, that's fine. So I made the team. And at that moment, Dory Grogan who was in charge of the the Dolphins cheerleaders. And she asked me to do something on camera with her husband, who's Kenny Walker, who's radio personality here in South Florida. And he asked me some questions and it just was so easy for me to be on camera talking.
Yeah.
I was not nervous. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, I love to read. I love to write.
You love to research.
I was like, I love to research. And I'm so nosy. I love to ask people questions about their lives. And I just want to learn more.
Yes, you love people.
And I love people. So why not try this? And really, that's where it started. That's really what it was. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I was like, I really like this. So then I went to FIU and I said, I'm changing my major for like the third time.
Again, it's me again.
Again, it's me.
Hey.
Undecisive human over here. And I did it. I graduated. Right before I was graduating from FIU, I also someone told me that they were looking for a television host. Telemundo and NBC were starting a new network called Mundos.
And are you bilingual? 100%.
I am bilingual, yes.
Okay,
and
blessing.
We're looking for bilingual. It's like the new MTV is how they spun it for American Latinos. They were like, do you want to try out for it? And I was like, absolutely.
Why not?
I'll try out for it. So at that moment, I was done cheering for the Dolphins.
How was that process, though? Did you love being a Dolphins cheerleader?
I loved it.
Do you travel with the team?
I traveled with the team. Not everyone gets to travel. They have like the travel team within the team. I was part of the travel team.
How many ladies are on the travel team?
It varies every year, but there are probably about 20 girls. So about half of the team or maybe a little less that they select. And you travel around the world, which was a great opportunity for me because I really got an opportunity to see the world, to see different things. Yeah. And it was pretty amazing.
And is that a grind though? I mean, I know like the NBA life and the NFL life is a little bit different. You guys really only travel the one day a week, right? For football games.
No, there's a game. There was a game.
Right.
Yeah, but it is a grind because you have to go to practice 3 days out of the week and you have appearances. It's a job. It is a part-time
Were you paid to
job.
do this work?
Yes.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Okay.
Which is still the case.
Got it.
Nothing has changed.
But it was a paid job.
But it also opened up different opportunities.
Right.
Because with that opportunity, someone's like, oh, you're a journalist. Oh, you're almost graduating. Okay, well, there's this opportunity to try out for this show.
Right.
Would you be interested? And I was like, sure. And I was like, okay, I'm done dancing. Or so I thought I was. And they're like, okay. And then one of my friends was like, you should try out to be a heat dancer. I was like, no, I really need to focus on like finishing school because I've been so undecisive that I'm like behind schedule
Good for
right
you.
now.
You were like, I just want to get this done. You just wanted to check the box.
And I had to graduate no matter what. And I was like, and at this point, I was like, I have to just do it. And she was like, you should really try out to be a heat dancer. I was like, oh, I have a couple more classes. You know what? Fine, I'll do it. So I did it. So I was like, I'm definitely not making the heat.
Why did you think that? Why definitely not?
No way. Because it's really a very hard dance team to make. It's not that easy. I mean, it is
rigorous tryouts.
Very rigorous. Like the women that try out to be heat dancers are really top of the game dancers. So I was like, I'm good, but I'm not going to be I'm not, after this, I'm not trying to be a career like being a choreographer.
So even with your experience with the Marlins, you thought...
With the Dolphins?
With the Dolphins, rather. I'm still not going to be good enough?
It's really hard.
It's really that hard?
It's really hard.
Shout out the Miami Heat dance team.
Yeah, it's hard.
You guys are incredible.
And it's also a different style of dancing. The Dolphins do dance cheer. Like, Heat dancers, they do like, hardcore dancers. And I was like, I'm not going to make it, but I'll try out.
Okay.
And I was like, the only thing that I have going for me right now is that they have like a special, like you can make it for like a week into boot camp. And I was like, okay, I'll make it to boot camp. I was like, I'll give myself that. I was like, and then after that, let's see what happens. But at this point, I was like, I have to get this new job that I'm like on the hunt for, so I'm not gonna make it, right? In my head. I made it, okay?
This woman right here.
I made it right there that day. They were like, we're done with boot camp. We're not doing boot camp. And everybody was like, wait, you're not gonna give us an opportunity
we
to
wanted
show?
the boot camp.
So I was like, okay, now I'm done. I told like one of my friends, like, I don't think if they're selecting the team, they're like, we know our team. We're not even going to go to boot camp. This is it. And then I made it. So, I mean, at that point, I was like, okay, now let me change focus and try out for this new show that's going to be.
What was the name of the show again?
So the show was called Fusión. It's in Spanish, Fusion.
Okay.
And it was on Mundo. So Telemundo and NBC had a sister station at that moment called Mundos. And I hosted their 30-minute, half-hour entertainment show.
So you got it.
I got it. I wasn't the host originally. Okay. I got the reporter job. And I was a Heat dancer at that moment. I got the call when I was like at something for the Heat, whether it was an appearance, I don't really recall exactly what it was. And I got the call and I was just elated. I was like, oh my God, this can't. Like, it's
Was
all
this the
working
moment
out.
you were waiting for? Was this like, this is my breakthrough?
This is
going to be my big break.
This is it. This is going to be my big break. I can't believe it. I was so excited. I was so happy.
What did you do? You called your mom? You called everyone?
No, it's actually it's funny that you say that. They called my mom.
They called your mom?
They called my home number because that's what I put on my app, my application.
Right.
And I had my cell phone at the time, but like cell phones, dating myself,
yeah. We're pre-cell phone, y'all.
Yeah,
Scary.
Cell phone. So my mom called me. She was like, they just called you. You got the job. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, they're going to call you right now. They called here first. And I was like, no way. And then I got a call and then they called me and they told me. So it was exciting. It was
amazing. And so then at that point you were like, okay, this is insane. This is my big break.
Yeah. So
I'm doing Fusión. I'm doing Miami Heat. How are you juggling both of those?
And school. Because I remember I still had to finish school.
So you were insane.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But thank God I was
you-
like single and I didn't have kids at that moment.
And like, what did you cling to during that time when you were literally living 3 lives at that point? Which for some people, just finishing school is overwhelming enough as it is.
It is.
Right?
It is very overwhelming. I kind of just am laser focused. When I have to do something, I don't really hear a lot of noise. I just kind of like keep it moving.
Yep.
So that was my goal. And if you tell me I can't do something, good luck.
You're so
I'm
competitive.
going to do it.
This is the thing. One of the things that I always admire about you, and it's always like your social media posts with your son.
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna outdo him on like push-ups.
Everything.
You're like, oh, bro, guess what? I just built a gym. If you're not actually gonna use this gym, this is my gym.
Oh, and that's exactly
Zayden?
who I am. Sorry, Zayden.
Sorry.
You're going
Z.
down.
Yeah.
So I'm very competitive. So there's no time to think. You just have to go.
Just go.
Just go.
You're in go mode. So at that point, you were just like, I'm a Heat dancer. Mm-hmm. And how many days a week was that for practicing?
It was like 3 to 4.
Okay.
It changed every week, but about 3 times.
But you guys don't do away games?
No. Well, sometimes you would go like if there's playoffs.
Or All-Star maybe?
Yes.
Big stuff.
Yeah, big stuff.
For the league.
But you can pick and choose what you want and say, I'm not available, I am available. So I obviously wasn't a big participant at that, like as a Heat dancer, because I had other things going on.
And they were okay with that. They weren't like, look, Joe, you haven't done any of these like on-site activations at Nicholas Children's Hospital.
I would run in there late sometimes on game days, but I was like hair, makeup done. So I was like, you know what, I'll do the first part. So like the girls can get ready, the other girls can get ready, and I can go out and help out and do other activations that they couldn't.
Okay.
So yeah, we tried.
Made it work.
But that's why I could only do it for that amount of time. I did it for 2 years because at that point, that's really when television just kind of became the thing. And at that point I graduated. So I mean, I kind of like, I did it all and then I was just done with dancing at that point.
And so then at Fusión, like what was your schedule like? What time were you coming in the morning for
So
set?
I was still in school. I was kind of juggling school at that point, but very little, just because I had like a couple of classes that I had to finish, probably like 1 or 2. I would go in the morning, I would have to be in hair, makeup, 9, meeting, produce, go, if they send me out on assignment, I would go out on assignment. Then I would every day do the show at whatever time it was, like 4, we would tape it. It was live to tape, do the show, and then I would run to Heat dancer practice. Shit. Yeah, it was
You were killing it.
It was intense.
So then once you hung up your Heat hat and you were no longer cheerleading, how did you still stay around the team? Because at some point you also became a sideline reporter.
I did. I became a sideline reporter at one point. After a couple of years, when I left Mundos, I was there for about 4 or 5 years. they kind of moved all their production to LA.
Oh, wow.
At that point, I was like, oh, wow, what am I going to do? I was married. At that point, I had already gotten married. And I was like, okay, now it's time to kind of like figure out what's next. A lot of people kept telling me, you need to do news. You're great. You can host a show. That's fantastic. But you have no journalistic, like you can't say you're a journalist without covering news. And I was like, but I want to do entertainment and I want to do sports. So
why didn't all of this like reporting that you did and being?
Because it was more entertainment, and South Florida at that time was really like a news town. It really wasn't as entertainment as driven as it is now.
So when people told you you can't do news because you're not a journalist, you were like, oh, watch me.
There was no entertainment shows.
Oh, really?
There was just one show, which has been around for a long time, which was Deco Drive.
I remember that, exactly.
WSBN.
Right.
There was no other, and there really are not a lot if you take a look and look at the platform that we have. It's not so. I had to do some news, and that was okay. It was a great experience. Somehow, at WPLG, which is ABC, they needed someone to fill in for the traffic reporter at that time, which was Jen Herrera. And they're like, we need someone to fill in for her because she's pregnant, she's having a baby. Somehow someone gave them my reel, and they called me and they're like, come in. And my interview was like this. I have no idea who you are. A lot of people speak very highly about you. I'm just going to give you a temporary job for now, and let's see how this goes.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow.
And who was this person? This is like a dream weaver. This was a man, and he literally told you, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't even know if you're capable.
I don't even know if you're capable.
But let's give it a shot.
But you know what? Everyone wants me to hire you. Let's give it a shot.
So reluctantly, let's give it a shot.
A week after, or 2 weeks after, he called me into his office. And he was like, all right, I'm going to give you a 6-month contract as a news reporter. We're going to try you out. Now you're doing well. Here you go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, this guy clearly is not a fan. But I will.
But someone at ABC had a good feeling about you.
Someone likes me. Okay, I'll take this for whatever it is. Not negotiating it. I will sign it. Come back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was.
So that turned into a 6-month contract.
And then 2 months after, he was like, okay, fine. Here's a contract.
Really? He was like, I don't want to do this again. Someone is forcing me to do this.
Yeah, no. By the way, that was my entire career there. Here you go. I will hire you.
Wow.
And I just kept saying, you are going to love me.
You're going to love me.
By the end of this.
So what kinds of things were you doing at that point? Obviously some traffic, filling in.
I was doing news. I was doing entertainment. Then I somehow convinced them to give me an entertainment little series that we had going. I got it sponsored. It got sponsored.
What was the name of that series?
It was called The Weekender. Yeah. So
that's cool.
I mean, pushed through, kept going. I worked for ABC, for WPLG for, I want to say 8 years. And I did everything. I did sports. I did news. I did weather at one point.
You were just like,
I did
see a need, fill a need. If I need to just jump in, I'm there.
I was the person that they would look at their schedule and they would say, we need someone in sports. We need someone in traffic. We need someone that can possibly fill in for weather, news, weekend morning news, entertainment, go do the walk, go do this. I was that girl.
And you were just, do you think that people were popping you into those spots because you were just so good, or because you were so willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done? Were you always available? Why do you think that you were able to plug in those holes?
I will give myself credit and say it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I was good, but I also was so eager, and I was like, I'm gonna get the job done. That was it. And I was like, I'm here, I'm willing, I'm able, I can do this. Give me an opportunity.
Right.
Because I don't think there was a lot of faith going into it. So.
And at that point you were juggling. I mean, you were married.
So I was married at that point. Then during those contracts, then I had Zayden, my first little human.
He's so adorable. And how responsive was the network when you said hey, listen, I'm having this baby, because I know for a while, and you hate to admit this because you want to believe that in 2025, we're in a different world.
No, we're not.
We're not. So when you first walk into, maybe it wasn't this particular producer in the office, but someone and saying, here's the deal, I'm pregnant. Because I experienced that too. Before I hung up my acting hat, I found out I was pregnant with Ray Ray, my first son. I was working on a show called Century City, which was on CBS Primetime. It starred Viola Davis.
Right.
And so I was on this show. It was about a law firm set in the future. I played a virtual reality assistant. and I'm in this like hot pink cotton candy, like lycra. I mean, you couldn't even breathe in it.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
stuck.
So my point in saying that is I went to wardrobe 1 month and then I came back to wardrobe 2 months later and they were like, what's happening here? And I was like, I'm 3 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that conversation with the producers to
Yeah.
say like, I know that this character is supposed to look one way all the time. Is this going to affect me negatively? And they changed camera angles. They even made me a real person in the show, which was incredible. But so what happened when you went into that office and said,
Well, the good thing about, I think when you are, you work on TV, and granted yours was different because it was film, it was more acting, people are really receptive to like, she's having a baby, you know, so they like, think about it. They saw me when I started, I was green. Let's be real. I was green. And then I got better throughout time. And then I was becoming a mom for the first time.
and at that point you were an expert.
And I wouldn't say yet. I don't even think that I would even consider myself an expert now. I think like every day I'm learning.
Still learning.
I'm still learning.
But you had a lot of experience. You did
had-
have 8+
I had-
years of experience.
I had experience at that point for sure. Television is just weird. It's hard. You know, it takes so many years for people to just trust you and to give you that credibility. Maybe it has changed now because I think social media has obviously changed journalism a lot. But yes, at that moment, I was still, I would say I wasn't green, but I wouldn't consider myself to be, you know, a top journalist in South Florida, 100%. I can say that with full confidence and being okay with that's where I was at that point in my life.
Did they want to work with you? Did they want to create storylines around the pregnancy, doing some mommy
at that
me
point,
stories?
actually, that's when I started doing sports for the station, and I was pregnant, and that's when I also got a job to work as a sideline reporter for the Miami Heat, and ABC was very kind. WPLG, they allowed me to do this because typically you can't do it. So I did it, and it was great.
Amazing.
And I continued.
And we won.
Yeah, I was there for the good years. I was there for the good years. And they were very nice at that. And so kind of that's how everything, one door opened another door and another door. And that's how.
And so then when did you walk through the 6 in the Mix door? Because that was a big door.
Yeah, so obviously entertainment, hosting a show.
Did you create that show?
I did not.
How
create
did that
show.
happen?
That show was actually created by a local producer here in South Florida, and it was anchored by Roxy, who is still here in this market, who's now doing news, and that was her baby. And she was on this, her and I were both on air at the same time. Just obviously I was at WPLG, she was at NBC and she still is. And she kind of was growing out of that. And at that point of my life, I was done with ABC. I was pregnant with Zahara, my second child, and I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I needed a minute. I needed a break. I needed to tap out. I needed to like rethink. I got an opportunity to do radio, and I said, okay. I was like, let me try this. I'll work Monday through Friday. It'll be a little bit of a different schedule where I can have at least a real schedule, because my schedule was very hard when I was working on TV. So I just wanted some stability when it came to like seeing my kids at a certain time. I missed a lot of mornings with Zayden, and I should have mother's guilt about that. I still to this day, I'm like, oh, I miss so many mornings. I don't want to do that ever again.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to miss those moments with my kids. So I started to do radio, and I gave birth to Zahara. I was done at that point as a sideline reporter also. I kind of was done with that. And somehow I was sitting my non-compete, and I got a call from someone at NBC, you know, would you be willing to freelance for us and be a reporter on 6 in the Mix? And I was like, absolutely.
So for the right thing, you were like, I'm going to dust this off.
Right.
We're going to dust this off.
So it was a freelance position, which was fine. Didn't work as much as I was used to, like the grind of working. So that was definitely an adjustment for me. But I kept going. Then I ended up in 2017. Oh, then I had Zia. So I got pregnant for the 3rd time. I had my little nugget. And yeah, so at that moment I was freelancing. I needed something. I was like, come on, universe. I'm like,
Universe,
God,
give me something.
help
Yes,
me.
God bless me with this.
Oh,
And?
I got cancer in 2017.
And
yeah.
so Tell me a little bit about that moment, because I think like we all experience something that changes everything. And, you know, that's the whole point of Grown Woman, right? I thought I was going to reboot these conversations very similarly to my TV show, The Pregame Meal. And at the top of the year, when I decided that I wanted to use whatever I have, use my voice, not be anonymous anymore, not be hiding, not just be focused solely on the restaurant and the franchise in my family, but to really create space and sanctuary for my own feelings of like my journey and women that inspire me, and to try to figure out a way to just uplift women, because I feel like women right now are so under attack. And I was like, what can I do that I'm not doing? What can I use that I'm not using? And I realized you're not using you. You're not using all of the things that God gave you and what you're really good at truly as a storyteller. And so I decided to do this thing, Grown Woman. And in that moment, my very first episode, my very first guest, I'm talking to her and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be about food. It's going to be about family. It's going to be about faith. It's going to be about fun. All the things the pregame meal was about. In the very first conversation, I sat down with her and I realized, holy shit, this isn't about just that stuff. This show, this moment, this conversation is about the Mexican proverb, they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. This is a grit and determination story. This is a conversation with women or men that use their platforms to uplift women, allies, and accomplices around post-traumatic growth. You know, what happens to us, you and me, everyday, regular people who have extraordinary stories, what happens to us when the shit hits the fan? Do we go into a hole and die there? Or do we take this information and turn it into an opportunity to not just make ourselves better, but to also uplift the people around us? And so when I learned about your story, which I had no idea, I thought to myself, my God.
Were you on the heat at that time? Were you guys?
We were already gone.
You were gone.
We were already gone. Ray had already retired. We were entering into the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
So, I mean, we're always going to be a part of the heat. We're always going to be familia.
But family.
I wasn't there. And so I heard about it after you'd already been through it. Tell me about the moment that you found out and how you found out.
So I was living life, nursing, freelancing, my third child. And then I was like, okay, I'm done nursing my little one. That's it. You know, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm hanging these boobies up. These boobies have done their job.
Yep, these boobies have done their job. And I felt something on my left breast. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, that's odd.
When you say something, because this is the part that I think people don't understand. We think when we're doing like a self-examination, or maybe we're going to the doctor's office, because women's breasts are naturally lumpy. I have dense breasts.
Yeah, me too.
So I breastfed 4 babies back to back. Lumps, bumps, that's a part of it.
That's it.
When you say I felt something, what did it feel like?
I felt something lumpy, and it was like that hard.
Hard, like a pea, like a dry pea, like a bean?
Like this, like this.
Wood?
Like
hard.
This, hard. Not something squishy. Like, you know, you can touch something. You're like, okay, that's squishy. No. Like something hard. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Okay. Then I kept touching myself, and I was like, oh, there's another one there. That's really weird. But I was like, you know what? It's probably like a milk duct or something.
Sure. Lymph node.
I just finished nursing. It's fine. No big deal. Kept going. Life. 3 kids.
How long did you keep going?
Probably about 2 months. Too long.
Wow.
Too long. That's the answer. Too long. 2 months or 3 months. And then I said, fine. You know what? I'm going to go in on January. Yeah, I'm going to go in January, make an appointment. I'm going to do it. So at this moment,
you were buying a house.
I was buying a house.
Just amazing.
Yeah, it was such a great blessing. And they're like, your closing's going to be on January 17th. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I'm going to go get checked. It'll be fine. I'm going to keep it moving. We're going to have to fix some things in the house, you know, whatever. And I get a phone call, and they're like, can you push back the signing date to February 17th? And my husband calls me. He's like, can we push that? I'm like, no. Absolutely not. I just want to get in. I just want to do it. No. I don't want to play nice anymore. I'm done. January 17th. We're going to close on this house. We're not doing it February 17th.
Okay.
And I was like, done. So I go to the doctor, get checked, sign. Yeah, congratulations.
You got the keys. Yes, exactly.
And I go and I get checked. And then February 17th, I get the news that I have cancer.
And this is
the day I was supposed to sign, by the way. That's where I had to sign. And I was like, oh. I was like, so February 17th, I found out that I had 3 tumors on my left breast.
Okay.
and they were cancer.
And
Triple negative breast cancer.
tell me what that means for people that don't know.
So people that don't know, everybody thinks breast cancer, it all looks the same. It doesn't. Everyone has different types of cancer. Someone's hormone, someone's not. Mine was not hormone. Mine was just, it is what it is. It's a very aggressive cancer that affects majority of Black and brown women.
Wow.
Young women. I was 37 at the time. No family history at all.
None. On your mom's side, your dad's side, zero.
By the way, when I say like no cancer at all, like no cancer at all on both sides. So that's why I was feeling so confident when I went to go do,
Yeah, you're like, this isn't even a thing in my family, whatever. This is a lymph node.
No, it's no big deal. If anything, it's probably something they'll take out, whatever it is.
So when the doctor says that to you and the doctor calls you and says,
Yeah, I know exactly.
You've got breast
I was
cancer.
at my
You've got 3
dining
tumors.
room table in my old house. One of my friends came to visit me. I couldn't blow dry my hair because I had the biopsy.
Okay.
She was like, oh, I was going to go blow dry my hair. She's like, I'll just blow dry your hair for you. Just blow dry my hair. Oh, and I was like, oh, it's the hospital. They're just calling me now. It's going to be great. My husband was away for work at that time, February.
Yes, I know what that means.
And I get the call and they're like, I'm so sorry to tell you, but it's cancer. And I was like,
Holy shit.
exactly. I was like, holy shit. I had to pick up my son at school. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, it is cancer, but I have to go in on Monday and like talk to them. We don't know what it is. Like, no one like freak out. My mom was there. Everybody was like kind of like freaking out. And I was like, relax. I was like, I have to go pick up Zayden. I was like, so
Focus,
everyone
focus.
chill out.
Yeah.
No emotions. Stay focused. So I called my husband on the way to school and I cried a little bit at that moment. I was like, okay, it is. And like, I don't even know his reaction at that moment. I think he was like, okay, we got this. Let me make some calls. Like, we'll get you in right away. And I was like, okay. I picked up Zayden and I still, like there's moments in your life where you remember exactly. I remember getting off, like parking, getting off, walking up to school, like, Zayden, okay, it's Friday. It was a Friday. I was like, yay, Shabbat Shalom. I grabbed him, got in the car, and I was just like, fake it all the way. It was fine. Get home. Zahara, Zia, we've got everyone. We've got a lot of moving pieces, little kids. My mom is like, panicking.
Full
and I'm
panic mode.
I'm like, calmate. Everyone calm down.
You didn't even want to touch the emotion. You
No,
didn't
no,
even
no.
want to start thinking.
No. I went to bed and I woke up in a complete panic attack, which I've never experienced.
What did that feel like for you?
There
Panic
was-
attack.
Okay. Do you know when you see images and videos of like people, like the water is starting to rise and you're trying so hard to kind of like catch up, but the water's rising and you don't know what, that's what it felt like. Like something
drowning.
there was an elephant on my chest and I was drowning. I had to I got up and I like went outside and I just bawled my life away. I was like, I asked for something new.
Something new.
I asked for something fresh.
But I didn't want this.
And I did not want this. I was like, I have a 2-year-old. I was like, what are we doing? I was like, you clearly got the wrong person. I was like, I try to do everything good.
This isn't for me. I'm a good person.
This is not what's supposed to be happening. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was furious.
You started off with why, and then I'm pissed off.
I'm pissed off.
I'm 37. I have 3 kids. I'm trying to figure out my career. I just bought a new fucking house.
What the fuck?
What's happening?
What the fuck is going on? Yeah, that was it. And then I heard, then they told me like, you have to have 17 rounds of chemo.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
When you say triple negative, 3 tumors in your left breast,
Yeah.
we hear people that know about cancer, or maybe some of us that know nothing about cancer. We hear the word stages.
Yeah.
Was there a stage, or is that just for television?
They do. So no, it's not. But the stages are different, right? So I had 3 tumors, 37 big tumors. So I was like a stage 3 because there was also 3 lymph nodes on my left side that were flared, and they did not like the way that looked. So I had to eventually do a biopsy on those to see exactly what was wrong with them. So there was a lot of uncertainty, but I was somewhere between like a 2B to a 3 to be very honest with you, for insurance purposes, they kind of like stage you differently. Stage 4 is that it has metastasized and it's all over
a
your
huge
body.
problem.
It's a huge problem. Thank God, knock on wood.
Thank God.
I was not. I was
You weren't
not
there.
I was not there. But I had 3 lymph nodes, so that's why I was a stage 3, and because it is such an aggressive cancer that I was a 3.
And so you get this information, you know what you have to do, and then the doctor says, this is the prognosis. Did you want to hear the prognosis or no? Did you say,
No.
don't tell me anything? What do I have to do? Because you're focused.
I don't even think you understand how mad I was.
Okay, I want to know. I want to know how mad you were.
So mad.
Oh, so you didn't even want to have these conversations.
No, I was like such a bitch to my oncologist. Like, I don't even know if she still likes me to this day.
She hates you. No, I'm just kidding.
She tells me all the time, I love you,
She loves you.
Johanna.
You're easy to love.
But I was like, what? I was like, what is it that you want me to do? Like, why do I have to do this? I questioned everything. Why am I taking this? Why do I have to do 17 rounds of chemo? Why can't I just do 12 rounds of chemo? And then you can check. And then the tumor is gone. And then she was like, no, because this is what works. And this is what we know works. And I was just like, well, you have to try something else.
So you were in your bag of, I'm a researcher, I'm smart, I'm competitive, I'm going to beat this thing. It's not going to beat me. So what is it?
Yeah, I was just so like, no. I was like, yes, you do think at that moment, like, I am going to die. Because, right? You're like, oh my God, am I going to die? I think about it probably that one day that I was crying, that I woke up after.
You allowed yourself the one day.
I legit was like, okay, I'm going to give myself like my pity party. And then I've got to get up and keep it moving. I've got 3 kids. Like, what am I going to do? And I was like, oh wait, so like, I'm just going to, no, that's not my style. I was like, let's go. So no, I didn't. I was like, whatever. I was like, let's do what we have to do. So I had to do 17 rounds of chemotherapy. Then I had to have a double mastectomy.
How did you do with the chemo? Because everybody doesn't react to chemo the same way.
No, but I was healthy. And I think that
Dancer
was
background, fit, you're crazy about your diet and exercise.
And I was young. So I had a lot of things that were working with me, not against me. So thank God. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. Chemotherapy is awful.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to slice that.
Right.
It was bad. I had a poor, by the way, my kids did not know.
About any of this?
No.
You never told them.
I never told them.
That was my what? What were you going to say? That was my thing?
That was my one thing. I was like, you were not allowed to come into my house and go, how are you feeling?
Yeah. I don't want to see that.
I was like, oh my God, don't pity me. I was like, don't do that. I was like, stop it. I was like, I got this.
And what did you tell your husband?
I was like, if you want,
he's not allowed to communicate with the kids about this at all.
No, we never spoke to them. We never spoke about any of it in front of the kids. But they were very little, so I think I had the opportunity to get away with that. It doesn't work for every family, and there's no right or wrong answer on what you should do and how to react to this with your kids. I think it just depends. What are my kids going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I kept saying, look, are they going to help me? I'm just going to give them something to worry about.
Right.
Like,
you didn't want to rock their stability.
Zayden's 8.
So that you had a port, they never saw it.
No, so I would cover it up. It was on my left side. No, if they did, I was just like, oh, it's nothing.
Were you able to keep your hair?
I did.
So you used the cold cap?
I did. I used a cold cap during those 17 rounds of chemotherapy.
Okay.
I did use a cold cap, and it was amazing. And I wish that for any woman that wants to keep her hair and is going through it.
And that was a decision that you had to make. That was a choice.
That was a choice.
That was a choice for you.
Yeah, that was a choice. I was also very, very, very like headstrong about keeping my hair. So, I mean, every week I had to go into chemotherapy. So I would like wash my hair once a week. I wouldn't touch my hair. I would baby my hair. I wouldn't wear a hat. I wouldn't go swimming. I would try not to sweat. I would be like, okay, you can't sweat. I wouldn't brush it.
That was important to you. You were like, this is a part of my femininity. This is a part of my identity.
I was
part
on
of my
air.
health.
Remember, I was still freelancing. I was on air.
You're still on air.
I was still on air.
You're still on air.
I was like, I would go to chemo on Tuesdays, and sometimes I would have to work on Wednesdays.
Did they know at the station?
No.
No one knew.
No.
Who knew? Who did you talk to? Who was your support system?
I had my closest friends.
Okay.
My family, and that's it. No one
at
my
the
husband
Heat knew? So that's why I'm asking you, because you said to me, were you guys at the Heat then?
Yeah, because I don't recall at that moment, like, because no one knew.
No one knew.
No one knew.
Close friends, family, your husband.
We had like very close friends that my husband works with that are like family that you know of. No. I wasn't, that was one thing that I was like, no one is allowed to know. Because the reason why, if people know, when people see me at a game, when people see me at an event, when people see me at work, if I'm with my kids, what do you think they're going to say?
How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, how are you feeling? Are you?
You didn't want that.
And I was like,
you didn't want that Pobrecita energy, right?
I was like, you would never treat me like that. You would say hi and keep it moving.
So this was a protection.
Yeah, it was protecting my kids.
You had to create a boundary to protect your children.
Well, I had to protect my kids, but I also had to protect my mental health. And I also had to stay focused, laser focused on getting to July 3rd, which was my last day of my chemotherapy. And I had it written down like, this is it. This is the day.
On the calendar. With a red, with a circle, with a bullseye.
With a bullseye.
And then tell me, the minute the chemo was over, then did you have the double mastectomy?
I had a double mastectomy like 6 weeks after. And they called me back in and they were like, you have to do more chemo. And I was like,
okay.
But then the way the universe works, it's like, so I had my mastectomy. I'm healing from my mastectomy.
And how does that feel? How does that, people have surgery all the time, but take us through the emotion of being a woman, being a young woman, being a breastfeeding mom, and knowing I have to eliminate these breasts from my life to save my life. Or you didn't have that thought. Tell me.
Because I did it. They're still there.
They're still there.
They're just stuffed differently.
Okay.
They're just stuffed differently, but like you can't. They're still there. They're still, it's my skin. I did a nipple sparing. They're my nipples, you know, so yes.
Got it.
Do I have scars?
Mm-hmm. But we all have scars.
Do they look different? They don't look as pretty as they used to, maybe.
But boy, they saved your life.
But they're here.
They're here. And you're here.
And I've had multiple surgeries after.
Yeah.
I've had 3 or 4 reconstructive surgeries at this point. So 4. I had my last one in December for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't look at it as I have no breasts. I have breasts.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
I have breasts.
Yeah.
So I didn't lose them. I lost the inside of them, which was the tissue, which I don't know if you have a connection with the tissue of your breast, but I definitely don't.
Definitely don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I have a connection with my nipples. I have a connection with my skin, so I kept that.
Amazing.
So I didn't see it like that.
So you went into this next round of chemo after the double mastectomy because they wanted you to, and your energy around that after hitting the July 3rd date. How did you gear yourself up for, okay, I've got to go back into this?
So right away, I didn't have to go back. They gave me time to like heal.
Okay.
And at that moment, I got a call from NBC. We're like, we want you to host Six in the Mix. Yes. And I was like, oh. And then they were like, but you're not going to do it alone. And I'm like, oh, Roxy's doing news, so who's
gonna do it?
Who's joining me?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Jen Herrera. And I'm like the girl that I originally replaced
for Traffic when she was pregnant.
We worked together for so many years. Who's like one of my amazing friends,
right? She's unreal.
Unreal. And I was like,
shout out Jen.
I was like, I get to sit next to her and have fun every day. I was like, so she called me. She was like, you're kidding, right? She's like, why do I feel like we're like somehow scamming people? Yeah,
we're screwing NBC right now. They're going to pay us to have fun with our girlfriends.
And I think they thought, which is really interesting in business and women, they try to pin us against each other.
Really? They thought it was a competition.
They
and you
thought
guys
it was a competition. They really had no idea how close we were. They were like, oh yeah, they worked together, but maybe they didn't work together at the same time. They overlapped.
Okay.
And Jen and I were like, okay.
You're like, yeah, you guys can pay us to get together and have fun with entertainment.
Have fun and talk on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine.
We'll do it. We'll agree.
Fine.
Yeah.
If you want us
And that was how long? How long did you guys do that together?
Oh, we worked together for 5 years. Was it 5 years? 4 or 5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I was on there with you guys, and you guys were so much fun.
Yeah,
that was a blast. Would you say
that
that was one of the most fun kind of chapters on television?
You know what?
For you?
I think it's.
And is that when you won your Emmy?
I actually won my Emmy when I was a sideline reporter for The Heat. That's when I won. Yeah. But I did get nominated for a couple with Jen and with the show and individually. So that's always also a great honor.
Absolutely.
You know, just to be nominated is great. It's fun. When you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Then when you work with someone that you love, you respect, and that you can be creative forces together while lifting each other up. It's great. And a lot of times people tried. Oh, there was a lot of trying.
Really?
Of pinning us against each other, and we would just laugh. We
You knew what it was. You identified it early on.
Oh
and you're
my
like,
gosh.
oh my God, what is
point,
wrong
we're
with
like,
these people?
At this point, we're grown women.
Right, you're literally
we have
grown-ass
kids.
women. Right.
We're raising humans.
Right.
We're like, we don't have time for this nonsense. Like,
Right.
we're not against each other. We want the show to be
I think
successful.
in general, the world wants women to be in competition with
Oh,
each
they
other.
do.
And by the way, I think competition is good. Healthy competition is good when you're doing something new, when you're forging a new path, when you're a trailblazer. There's all these powers that be that don't want to see someone new doing anything new. But people that are highly successful are collaborating.
Yeah.
They're collaborating. They're exchanging ideas. They're like, you do this, I do this.
We work together.
You're great at this. I'm great at this. I'm not great at that. So like, let's build something.
Yeah,
and that's like
absolutely.
the whole point of creating community and building allegiances and alliances. Is like, I want to see women thriving.
Yeah, me too.
I
But
want
I
to see
think
women winning.
That's the biggest flaw, I think, of television,
Mm.
is that with a lot of women just kind of are always competing against each other. And I don't see it as a competition with any woman. I see it as I'm always competing with myself.
Yes.
I am my competition.
Yes.
Because I'm the one that's getting out there to tell a story, to host a show, to interview someone. So I have to look at myself and say, well, how can I be better?
How can I be
Instead
better
of
at
saying,
this?
like, what am I looking at what Shannon is doing?
Right.
Like, let her
How
do
can
her
I be my
thing, but
best
how can I
person
be the
in this
best
body?
version of me?
Yes.
And I think that unfortunately that's what happens. But I think that the corporate world of television
Well,
lends
there's a
to
lot of
that
this, like
too.
there can only be one energy in the world,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and especially when it comes to women. Even
Yeah.
though we're the ones that own all the small businesses and we're the ones that are the largest
But
group
I
of
blame
college
us for it.
graduates.
But I
You
blame
do?
us for
Tell
it.
me why.
I do. I blame us for it because I feel that we actually feed into it. And we should be able to acknowledge and say, we're not doing that.
Well, I think one way we can change that is being champions of each other
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family full of women. I don't know about you. I know you have a brother.
I have a brother and a sister.
So
yeah.
I grew up in a family that was all women. My mom has 2 brothers that lived, and she has 3 sisters, and my grandmother. So these are very strong Black women, all of them. They were all business owners. 3 of them were single moms, put their kids through school, paid all the bills, put all the kids through college,
Yeah.
complete badasses.
Love it.
But my mom and her sisters relied on each other. They're each other's best friends.
Mm.
And because of the relationship that my grandmother established for her girls, where they would get together for Sunday dinner, and when all the men went to go watch the UConn basketball game or whatever was on television, and all the dishes were washed and all the kids were put to bed, and there was a hot pot coffee and a teapot on the stove and a little Entenmann's raspberry Danish where they were slicing pizzas up, I would just hover in the corner and listen to the stories. Because that's when you really saw what support looked like.
Yeah.
That's when they would disclose breakups, difficulty with a job, somebody being racist, somebody overlooking them, someone passing them by for something that they were overqualified for,
Right.
a problem with something someone said to somebody's child at school,
Yeah.
somebody that pissed them off, something wonderful that happened, joy that they experienced.
Yeah.
But I think I learned as an early age, because I had aunts and a strong mother and an amazing grandmother, that when you pour into each other,
Yeah.
everybody grows.
But I think it's also that reminder of there's enough for all of us to eat.
Yeah,
There really is.
there really is.
So
God doesn't have a lack for us. God wants abundance for us. I think we've been brainwashed to believe from society that
Yeah.
there's not enough to go around.
correct.
But the truth is, all of us want something different.
Yeah.
Your ideal dream for you is completely different than mine or Camila's or Gloria's.
Yeah.
We are all different. We're all uniquely made. We all have different backgrounds and dreams and goals.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult if I said to you, what is your best dream vacation? What is it?
Well, this year it's Japan
Japan.
because that's where I'm going.
Yes! What part of Japan are you going to?
We're going to Tokyo, Kyoto. We're going to do the triangle. Yeah.
Amazing.
When I say we, I mean my kids as well.
Yes.
'cause-
We don't do girls trips.
We
We're
don't
not
do
in that
girls
phase of life right now.
but
yes.
it does. Like everything, I think it's perspective, right?
Yeah.
It changes for everybody, and it
Exactly.
changes through time, and I love that. Like This year, it looks like
This year's Japan.
But next year, ask me something else.
I will.
It's
I definitely will.
Something else. It's definitely something else.
So I want to ask you one last thing before you head out.
Yeah.
It's actually two-part.
Go.
If you could
Uh-huh.
tell women that are watching or men that have a woman in their life that they love about your experience, not just your personal journey and your trajectory through career, creativity, and all of the incredible stops that you made along your way, and you continue to do that with your new project, marriage, children. But this specific part that affects women over and over again, what would you say to either women listening or men who love a woman or women about your breast cancer journey, your breast cancer survival story, your thriving story?
Well, first thing that I would say to women, which is what I always say, is go get checked.
Go get checked.
It doesn't matter if you're in
Go
your
get checked.
30s. Go get checked.
It doesn't matter if you don't have family history.
It doesn't. Oh,
Go get checked.
Doesn't matter if you don't have family history, because I did not. I'm the poster child of no family history, under the age of 40, diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer.
Wow.
So that's the first thing that I always say.
So you're
Go
saying
get
breast screenings, breast cancer
Yeah.
screenings.
You know what? Yeah, be an advocate for yourself, touch yourself, and go to those screenings. Push to get whatever you need to do to make sure that you are okay, and stay on top of it. Because I think what happens is that we're so busy as women, wearing so many different hats,
Yes.
that we forget sometimes to wear our own hat, to be healthy.
Putting ourselves first and
And
our health
putting
first,
ourselves
being our own
first.
best advocate.
Yeah, for yourself.
So first thing is, do yourself breast exams,
That's what I would say.
get checked regularly once a year, or as often as you feel like you need it, at least once a year.
At least once a year. But I would say, you know what? Touch yourself every 6 months, every couple of months. Why? Don't be
You're
afraid.
in the
Don't be
shower
shy.
anyway. You're in the shower
You're-
anyway.
You're watching television. Go
Right.
for it. Knock yourself out.
Exactly.
And I think for men, what I would say is be supportive. Be supportive. Let your woman stand on her own. Let her shine on her own. Let her have her light, her moments.
Bask in it.
Bask in it. I am very lucky because my husband we do our own thing. You know,
Yeah.
we're forced together, but we are individually
And he's
doing
amazing.
our own things, and we work together. So
Shout out the yes man.
the yes man. But I think that's probably the biggest thing that I see a lot when I talk to other women, that their husbands, they feel sometimes, I just let us be.
Yeah.
Let your woman do what she wants.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, yes. And you are such an example of that. When you think about the word grown woman, what does it mean to you?
doing what you want, whatever you want.
When you want.
When you want it, whatever it is, that's what it is. And not caring about anyone's feelings.
Unapologetically doing what you
Yeah.
want, when you want, with who you want.
I think, like, obviously in my 40s now, I'm just like, I don't care if you don't like it. It's what I want.
Did part of your journey and your
Yes.
story give you permission to say, life is short, you have no idea what could be coming your way. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And I actually don't care what anyone else thinks about it.
I don't.
So that's very freeing.
It's so freeing. And by the way, I didn't feel like that in my 30s.
Yeah.
And probably even on my early 40s, I didn't feel like that. But now I'm like, I do not care.
You don't care. So
just
really
don't care.
quickly, what's next? Tell me about
What
the
is
show.
next?
The Business Traveler
Yeah. So
in every airport around the globe.
every airport, and it's expanding. So
Awesome.
hopefully,
Congratulations.
thank you. Hopefully, good news with that as it continues to grow and expand. So I am hosting the Business Traveler Show, and I'm still doing radio.
Amazing.
I do middays for Power 96.
Okay.
What's next? I don't know.
I love that.
I'm just kind of letting it all come to me. It all works out. Because last time when I asked the universe to give me something big, it gave me something a little too big for me to handle. So I'm like,
But you handled it.
but I handled it,
Handled
and that's
it.
okay. I'm just trying to really live in the moment, because I think all throughout my 20s and my 30s, I was living in the next. And I just kept chasing the next. And I didn't know what the next was, because I can't control what's next.
We don't know
So-
what's next.
Right now, I don't know what's next, but whatever I am doing, I'm going to make the best out of it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I know that good things will come because I'm just putting that energy out there. That it's going to come. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I am rooting for you, and I am lifting you up, and I am watching you, and I want to see you continue to grow. Thank you so much for doing this for me.
No, thank you for doing this for so many women. It's amazing.
I'm honored to do it.
Yeah, you're doing
Johanna Gomez, everybody.